Ladies and gentlemen, railway pioneers, welcome to Railway Empire. Specifically, Railway Empire with the Down Under DLC. That's right, have you ever wanted to build a railway empire in Australia? Well, we're gonna do just that today. So let's hop right on into the brand new Australian map. We're gonna be playing the scenario, which is like, I guess, like the free play mode. It's the open world mode that that kind of has an element of progression in. I think it's pretty much perfect for a little YouTube series here. It says it's hard. Does that scare me? No, not even slightly. I'm just joking. It terrifies me dramatically. We're gonna be playing with the realistic rail network and the pause mode on normal. Correct, Mr. General. And we're actually going to be playing as the General as well. So there's a whole bunch of different characters that we can play as. I think we're just going to stick with the General, primarily because his bonuses are pretty basic, and I think will actually be pretty good for us. We'll talk a little bit about them once we jump into the game. But my name is Obit Potato, and the name of the company, that's right, that we're gonna be building a railway empire with is Kanga Rail. As you can see, I spent a heck of a long time coming up with this name. Now, of course, given that this is the first episode of any new series, I will do my best to sort of tutorialize some of the mechanics for the first chunk of the episode, but just a little bit, you know. How did you end up here? Railroads?
Middle of nowhere. You must have suffered a heat stroke.
Alright, cool.
Since you're here, there are actually a few things a railroad.
A few things.
But heed my warnings and don't come running to me.
Alright. Okay. Thank you for that. I didn't even catch your name. I don't even know who you are, random Australia man. That's fine. Right. So this is the game. Let's chat about first of all, let's chat about the basic mechanics, and then we'll jump into what's new with this Down Under DLC. Obviously, the map, the fact that we get to play in Australia is pretty cool. We're starting off in Melbourne, and we're gonna be setting up a little route to Ballarat, wherever the heck that is. We're gonna be doing that in just a little bit. You know what? I will participate in this auction, and we'll talk a little bit about auctions in a second. But for now, I think we should probably just set up a basic rail network. So we'll throw down a small station, and I gotta say, one of the things that I really dig about this game is that when you build a small station in a town, for example, it rearranges the entire town around the station, which I kind of love. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get a connection in Ballarat as well. That's nice. And then we are literally going to just connect up each end of the track with, connect up each station with a little bit of track in the middle. However, we're not gonna build the track just like so, because doing this would cost us $1.3 million. That's because we're going to build a tremendous tunnel, and I'm really not about that tunnel life for a variety of reasons. In the first instance, it's pretty darned expensive, but one of the modifiers, by playing as the General, it actually costs 40% more, I believe, to build tunnels. So, I mean, I'm not gonna just sit by and spend a whole bunch of cash on a tunnel that is not needed. So what we're instead going to do is we're going to build our track in slightly smaller sections, which means that there will be a slightly steeper elevation, but truth be told, I'm not particularly bothered about that. We should have the train to get up this steep elevation. There's an 18% elevation over there. Not exactly ideal. We can indeed tweak things a little bit. Maybe that's what we want to do. Yeah, so we have a little bit of a less steep ascent and descent. Right, let's get that built, and then let's immediately think.
Not much has changed here. Do you really think that a few tracks will change anything?
Do you think that a few tracks will change anything? I really need to not fall prey to doing an Australian accent for the entire series. It's something that I've thought about a heck of a lot. Right, so that's the basic track building mechanics. What else can we do? Oh yes, we can get a train route set up. We'll get a rail line set up just between Melbourne and Ballarat. We'll just load everything that needs to be transported. We'll talk a little bit about goods and the flow of goods as we go, but for now, I think that's totally fine. We will save and exit on that route, and we will add a locomotive to that route. So, there are two locomotives that we currently have available. As you will recall, I participated in an auction That auction was for a brand new locomotive, not for the actual buying of the locomotive, but for the research of the locomotive. So we're going to buy the most advanced locomotive that we have, one with the highest tractive power and the highest top speed. That's the John Hancock. Wonderful. And that's going to set us back about 31 grand. Totally fine. Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. And what do you know, just like that, John Hancock has been put on the Melbourne to Ballarat route. Wonderful. And what are we transporting? Ah, yes, it is the national beverage of Australia. Of course, beer. That's right. Okay, so I mean that's pretty much the basics, really. And what we just need to try and do is fulfill our missions. As we have a little look up in the top left-hand corner, we can see that we've got some missions. This is kind of the I guess pseudo story that I was talking about. It's not really a story, but it's more just like some goals to shoot for. We need to connect 3 rural businesses to your rail network, connect 55,733 people to your rail network, and bada bim, bada boom, that's it at this moment in time. Okay, so I guess we could probably talk a little bit about the mechanics in any given town. So I've just clicked on Melbourne. As you can see, Melbourne is pretty unique because it's got a brewery, so there's a bunch of settlements that already have just a regular industry installed in this first slot, so Melbourne is very fortunate to have a brewery. Tell you what, it seems like the best business to have in any town. Ballarat is fortunate enough to have a meat industry, and of course each and every one of these industries has got a different input, different output, input cattle, output meat. Pretty simple, right? In addition to that, there's also passengers and mail, which can be transported by train as well. There's also express goods, which are a little bit unique in the fact that they need to be transported directly, and they need to get there faster as opposed to just regular goods, which can take as long as required. But that is that because the steep incline. Don't worry about that. The game is also tutorializing a little bit as well, so that is on occasion reminding me exactly what we need to talk about. Okay, so what's new in this game? What's new in this DLC? Well, that's a great question. There's a couple of brand new resources, I do indeed believe. I think beer is in fact one of them. Let me just have a little look. Yeah, canned beer, seafood, and railomite are all brand new tradable goods. So, this is a fishery down here, which we are going to start utilizing very, very soon. In fact, I hope. But now we can transport seafood on our rail route. So that's kind of fine. There's a bunch of new engines. There's 3 brand new historical engines in this DLC as well, and there's also which I think is pretty nice, a brand new settlement feature on this map, right? So as you can see, it's a pretty barren landscape within which to exist. Yeah, I can cycle through my trains. Thank you very much for telling me. I get that. We'll build a rural business in just a second. It's a pretty barren landscape. As you can see down in the minimap, there are a couple of towns that exist. So we got Adelaide down over there. We got Albury over there. We got Wollongong over there. I think Sydney's around here somewhere. That's cool. Newcastle, another place. And then right up at the top here, we've got Brisbane. That's right. Okay, so all in all, and Tamworth, of course, in the middle of nowhere. I guess everything's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, the point is that if we grow our existing population in our existing cities, so in Ballarat and in Melbourne, we can actually found a brand new city in one of these patches over here. So, I mean, if we wanted to found a city in Bendigo, I really have no idea here. We can indeed do such a thing if indeed we get a permit to do such a thing. And as I've already said, we need to increase the number of inhabitants in all towns to get more settlement permits. So that is kind of like a background objective throughout the course of this entire series, is going to be to grow our towns to make sure that we can expand Australia. That's right. It really is that simple. Okay, first of all, this is looking mighty good. I am going to... Oh, we're transporting passengers. That's kind of nice. What I am going to do before we go any further, I'm actually going to build a supply tower. So supply towers are actually pretty darn important because they supply locomotives with water, sand, and lubricant along their routes. Place a supply tower, choose a free site next to the tracks outside the city area. Yeah, I think we're going to roll with a supply tower right over there, and that is just going to mean that the train is hopefully going to break down a heck of a lot less. That's the mission. Go to it. Fantastic. All right, so let's revert back to our task list and start working our way through there. There's a couple of other features that I may need to explain just from the outset, but for the most part, I think you've probably got the most basic level of understanding needed to play this game. I mean, look, it's a game. You plant stations, you connect tracks, you add trains. I mean, how complex really can it be? Also, for some obscure reason, the music just seems to have completely disappeared. So let's bump that up a little bit. All right, brilliant. I think I'm after a little bit of seafood. Seafood sounds good to me. Let's see if we can try and get a little rural connection set up. Now, rural connections work slightly different from their city counterparts. You need to place them out with the range of this bubble, whereas you place stations within the range of city bubbles. Let's plonk it down over there. Norris Fisheries. I like that. I like that a great deal. Now, one of the great things about Australia is that for the most part, it's pretty empty. It's pretty empty. So we should have no real difficulty connecting up a bunch of these tracks. And to be honest, these tracks should be pretty darn cheap. I think they should be pretty darn cheap. Where are we going? We're going to Ballarat over here. So let's swing this around. Yeah, look at that. Like, zero inclination. Zero inclination to do anything. No, zero inclination to go uphill. Or downhill, in fact. Right, let's just connect up to Ballarat. I think that's totally fine. 85 grand in order to connect that entire route up. That is brilliant. Oh, I should have mentioned. We're getting seafood because seafood is something that all cities demand. So there's a bunch of different things that are demanded by each and every city here. So as we can see, we're in Ballarat at the moment. Seafood, there is a little bit of demand for seafood. There's 0.4 units per month, which is totally fine. And then there's a little bit of seafood in stock at the moment. However, if we connect up a seafood route, then I'm sure things will be absolutely fine, and we'll be able to make a little bit of money. So what I'm kind of hoping is that we're going to be able to set up a Norris Fisheries to Ballarat to Melbourne route. Now, of course, that introduces another element of complexity. We'll talk about personnel in just a second. That introduces another element of complexity, and that is, I mean, we've only got one singular line between Ballarat and Melbourne, and we've already got a train that is running on said line. So, how are we going to rectify that? That's a great question. That's a great question, and one that deserves a noble answer. We are going to create a little siding right about here in the middle of the track. It's not going to be a super complex siding. It's not to the point yet where we need to think about sort of doubling up the track over the entire length of the Ballarat to Melbourne route. But suffice to say, we're just going to add a tiny little additional bit of track over here. That is just about the worst siding that anyone could construct ever. But you know what? Just roll with me on this one, folks. Either way, we should be able to introduce... I would like to introduce a signal over here. Just a single signal. Yeah, just a single signal right in there. And a single signal right in here too. We need to change the direction of the signal. There we go. And that goes in there. So what we've effectively done is we've created two blocks. One block which travels in a... what is that? Like a westbound direction. And the other block which travels in an eastbound direction. I navigated in the wrong direction. Westbound, eastbound, right? So one goes westbound, one goes eastbound, and this section should entirely contain the trains, and so therefore we should be able to get a second train on the route now, if I'm not mistaken. I think this supply tower is going to... I think it's going to satisfy the entire rail traffic on this route. I sure as heck hope so. Excuse me, are you not taking anything back? Oh, I guess you're not taking anything back. All right. I guess Ballarat has got functionally very little to offer. All right. Cool. All right. That's totally fine. Right. Let's get a brand new train set up. Brilliant. We'll go from Norris Fisheries, we're going to go to Ballarat, and then we are going to go to Melbourne. I do indeed believe that we should have enough transport capacity, and we should have enough seafood capacity on this train to pretty much do just one solid route. Grasshopper or a John Hancock? I think we want to get John Hancock. Sure. Let's roll with that. And let's see exactly what happens here. Yep, as you can see, nothing is unloaded at rural stations. The only activity is loading goods produced there. A maximum of 8 cars can be hooked up to one train. Totally fine. And look at that. That is a nice, juicy, full load of seafood. That's excellent. I'm very, very happy with that. And we are going to depart for Ballarat, and we're going to depart for Melbourne as well. Brilliant. Exceptional. Very, very, very satisfied with that. And, yeah. Cool. Very, very cool indeed. So what do we got from Melbourne? We got a lot of stuff coming from Melbourne. Not as much as we can take. We can get 8 carriages at max, but for now, that's an okay amount. That's an okay amount. Okay, so that is that. What else do we need to talk about? Not much, truth be told. Not much at all. There is a research tech tree in place here. Now, when we bought the John Hancock at the auction, we were actually just directly buying this bit of technology. And usually you unlock technology with innovation points. At the moment, we're getting 14 per month. That can be modified, and that might be modified at some point in the future. However, we can only unlock a couple of things at the moment. We can unlock the John Bull. The John Bull, which is another train. It's got a tractive power of 20%, and it's also got a top speed of 21 miles an hour. 21 fiery miles an hour. We've also got a detonator, which increases the reliability of your locomotives by 10%, or by 6%. But it costs 100 points. I think we're gonna get that. Sure, let's unlock that. I do indeed believe that that's a good decision to make. All right. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's have a little look-see to see if this works. The fish is arriving in Ballarat. Are we going to unload a carriage? I do indeed hope we unload a carriage. We can even come into the interface in Ballarat. Look at that. 2 carriages, 3 carriages, 4 carriages. Holy cow. All right, well, that was more seafood than I was originally anticipating. I gotta be honest. All right, and now I guess we're just gonna head straight across to Melbourne with some passengers and some mail. Totally fine, totally fine with me. As you can see, it looks like this lovely little signal route this little signal setup that we've got going on is working like an absolute charm. Now, this isn't the most optimal setup that we could get because this train has been chilling here for quite a wee while. And it still needs to wait until the Norris Fisheries to Melbourne train arrives as well. So, I mean, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Also, the fact that you unloaded your entire route of fish, your entire load of fish at Ballarat makes me think that maybe we need to add a Norris Fisheries stop in there, in between Melbourne and Ballarat. Yeah, I think that's what we're after. I'm gonna let this train arrive right into Melbourne. I mean, money is money, right? As long as we're transporting resources from Ballarat to Melbourne, then we're making cash. It's not a question of making cash. It's just a question of making sure that everyone in Straya gets their seafood fix, because we can't have it any other way. That's right. All right, now you're going to Norris Fisheries with some beer. I'm sure the fishermen in Norris Fisheries will approve of the beer delivery, even if it is not a required resource at the fishery. That's not necessarily a problem. Okay, so that's good. We've talked about research. The engine shed, this is just an opportunity for us to look at all of the different stats of all of the different trains, and we will indeed unlock all of the different trains as we go. Very, very cool indeed. I like this a lot. Look at this. That's a brand new train, I believe. This is a brand new Australian train. In fact, there's a couple of brand new Australian trains, as I've already talked about. Well, I don't know if they're Australian, but they're definitely trains, and they are new. Right, let's talk about personnel. We want to probably try and pick up as many personnel as we possibly can. They're pretty easy to wrap your head around. Personnel simply modify one aspect of the game. For example, the freelancer that we can pick up, or a freelancer that we can pick up, the promoter. Promoter can be utilized in all cities and will attract a great number of new citizens with adverts and presence for the next 6 months. If utilized in declining places, will be less effective. Fine. So yeah, basically, we can just we can hire you. We can hire you in. In fact, I don't want to hire you in Ballarat. Let's hire you in Melbourne. Sure, you're gonna cost me 19 grand, but we're going to try and grow Melbourne for the next 6 months. Now, of course, it is worth us doing this because that's going to hopefully unlock a settlement point or a settlement permit, whatever the heck that means, and we can actually plonk down a new city, which is going to be pretty darn fun, if I do say so myself. So I'm pretty looking forward to that. Right. Yeah. A lot of untapped wilderness, that is for sure. Tell you what, I'm gonna just tweak the sound yet again. I thought I had the sound perfect, but yet here I am without perfect sound. Okay.
So often, enough people accumulated in the existing towns that we may try to establish a new settlement.
It's almost exactly as I described it, Mr. Australia.
To a large extent, you also deserve the honor to decide on the new location.
Oh, the honor. The absolute honor of deciding on the new location of a settlement. Well, what a true privilege. As I've already said...
You should take a closer look at one of the possible settlement
Yeah.
sites.
Yeah. I'm aware. So, I mean, there is an obvious one. There is an obvious one which sticks out to me. In fact, there are two obvious ones. Two obvious settlements that stick out to me as settlements that I want to perhaps build. There's this one down here, which is...
Do you see the connected businesses?
Yeah.
They're not active yet, but that will change as soon as a new town is built.
They're not active yet. Well, I believe the fisheries is active, given that it's...
Decision lightly. And do not forget to confirm your choice.
Do not forget to confirm your choice. I will not forget to confirm my choice. Don't worry about it, my dude. I'm on it. I kind of want Bendigo. Bendigo? I feel like Bendigo. It's got to be Bendigo. Please correct my pronunciation in the comments. I will absolutely take it. I feel like Bendigo is not the worst place for us to go. The game has paused. That's why all the trains are stopped at this moment in time. Yeah, I feel like this is not a terrible place. I think that this is mostly a flat little valley that we can get right through here. And the reason that I suggest Bendigo as a good place to go. By the way, this wheat farm is already active. It's the whatever the heck this is. This is wine, grapes. Yeah, wine, grapes, lumber, and cattle, which are not active and would be activated by the building of this settlement. Now, cattle is, of course, very, very useful. Very, very useful in the city of Ballarat because we've got meat coming out and cows going in, which is good. Yeah, so we've got cows that can be utilized in Ballarat. Also, although I didn't mention it, there is in fact one of the requirements for the brewery in Melbourne is in fact grain. In fact, it's the only requirement in Melbourne is grain, and that will produce both beer and yeast extract. So I think that would be, I think honestly, Bendigo would be a pretty darn good city to get immediately set up as one that we can get established. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Rural train station, yeah. Don't worry about it. We're on it. Okay. So give me a brand new city, please. That is what I'm all about. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Established a new settlement. For the moment,
Easy peasy.
Nothing else to do here.
There's nothing else to do here. Now all we got to do is let it grow.
For the settlement to become a town, your help is required.
I'm on it. Don't worry.
New settlement.
Don't worry. I'm on it. We got to let it grow. We got to let it grow, and we will indeed let it grow. However, we need to vastly expand our resource network, I believe. Have these opened up yet? No, they've not opened up yet, and I guess they won't until we supply all the resources. Okay, my dude, Mr. Australia. I would really like to refer to you by a name other than just Mr. Australia. Also, I can get some upgrades. What would I like to get? Would I like to get the John Bull? Sure, let's... I don't want the speedometer. I think... You need to unlock one more innovation first. Oh, okay, fine. Okay, right. Let's get the speedometer, and then we'll get the John Bull. Cool. All right. So, thank you very much. I don't need to worry about that. Personnel. I need to get some more personnel. So, trained personnel, if you stick them on a train, they upgrade a certain stat. Reduces maintenance requirements for a locomotive by 20% if we hire the engineer. Yes. Now, obviously, each and every member of staff that we hire, unfortunately, ends up costing us a little chunk of change. However, that's something that I can just about deal with. You know, I can just about handle that. We need to go into manage train here. We need to stick on an engineer, assign you to the train, and look at that. The maintenance requirement is decreased by 20%. I don't know why I said 7%, but there we go. All right, we seem to be making money. We can look at the stats in just a second. However, I don't think we need to, not at this moment in time. What are our tasks? Connect 3 rural businesses, yes. And then all of these goods need to be delivered to Bendigo in order to fulfill the settlement requirement. Melbourne grows. Oh, goodness gracious me. What an occasion. This is wonderful. All right. Well, I'm real chuffed with this. Inhabitants technically seems to be going down, but that's okay. I'm sure that is just a temporary issue. The breweries, they're looking good. We can indeed buy the industry. Or alternatively, we could place our own industry in Melbourne since it's increased to that size. I don't want to deal with that quite yet. We'll deal with that later. That's kind of like advanced mechanics, I guess, placing industry. Breakdown in bad condition. I mean, that's not exactly what we're after, to be honest. I would appreciate maybe if we didn't break down. In fact, you know, just less occasional breakdowns would be great. Okay, I need to stop faffing around, and I need to build some more tracks. First of all, we need to get 2 additional train stations. So let's get a small strain station. Every station is a strain station on some level, right? Puts you under additional strain. I don't know where I'm going with that one. Right, a train station in Bendigo, and also let's get a train station over yonder as well. So what's this going to be called? Kelly Manor. Cool. That's brilliant. Right. And then we are going to see if we can try and get this track connected up. Now, I don't exactly know what the elevation is like over here. Doesn't look like it's too bad, especially if we're going to head to Bendigo in the first instance. So let's get that sorted. Yeah, that's not looking too bad at all. How much is that going to set me back? That's going to set me back 38 grand. I mean, I don't disapprove, frankly. I think that that's fine. So we'll just get that set up. After that, we're going to need to get a bespoke line. I say a bespoke line. It's not necessarily a bespoke line because it can be used by a whole bunch of trains. Right. Let's do something like this, and then we're literally just going to try and build as flat of a bit of rail as possible. Is this really a valley? This is not a very flat. It's not a very flat area. I got to be real with you, video game. I was kind of anticipating it being a little bit more flat than this. Right. Yeah, give me something like that. See, that's kind of what I was expecting, right? That's kind of what I was expecting. Little bit of flatness right down this valley. Let's try and swing around here instead. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. That's looking abysmal, but that's fine. Look, we're gonna need to get this set up at some point anyway. The fact that we're doing it now, I don't think is the worst thing in the world. Right. And then we're just going to try and merge into this track over here. This will need to get, you know, additional railway infrastructure at some point. We'll need to get some sidings, no doubt about it. However, I feel like that's probably a step in the right direction for us. Okay, so let's get that built. Bendigo needs a train. All right, let's set up a brand new line. Kelly Manor to there. Literally that simple. Add a brand new locomotive. Get the John Hancock. Perfect. We've already got an engineer equipped to our other line, so that's totally fine. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Either way, we've got 26 26. Holy cow. 26 grain that can be stored at a maximum. We gain 3.5 per month at this specific location. And there are 21 grain that are currently in storage as well. So that's kind of cool. Now, I also want to see if I can try and get a set up between Melbourne dwindles. Oh, no. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. That's not good. We need to fulfill more demand in Melbourne. What is this? This is an auction. I mean, I'll absolutely do this. So the advantages of doing auctions, as far as I can see, is that, yeah, so we've just unlocked the covered cab, increases profits from transported mail by 3%, and we didn't use innovation points to get it, so we used money instead. And you know what? We're actually in a really, really good financial position, but we could do with some more research points. And so converting our money into research points is actually quite good. Okay, so Bendigo is growing. That's excellent, fantastic. Let's get another train. We're gonna set up another train between Kelly Manor and Melbourne here. This is gonna present us with somewhat of a problem because I'm a little bit nervous that we're not going to have the siding capacity in order to make this work. However, I'm an optimist, and we'll have to wait and see. Also, it should be noted that the reason that I'm not going directly from Kelly Manor all the way over to Melbourne, i.e. with the track, is because tunnels cost me a ridiculously large amount of money. Also, this is like Mount Flippin' Everest, right in the middle of Australia. It's absolutely gargantuan. It's huge, and we can't go through it. So there you go. Right, let's have a little look. Waiting for track clearance. Yeah, so we don't actually have any signal goodness here. We need to set up a little bit of signal stuff. In fact, I do indeed believe that maybe just a single signal over here will be totally fine. Or, in fact, it will not be totally fine. No, it's just because the game's paused. There we go. All right, let's throw it into 2 times speed to see if the train works once it's got past that signal. I do indeed believe we should be able to depart from Kelly Manor. Nope, that's fine. Nope, yep, we are able to. It just had to update. Let's see if this is going to work. So we've got 15, and we're going to get more. You love to see it. That's great. That's really, really good. Okay, I actually want to slightly modify this route. Nope, I don't want to change the title. I want to set up the rail line. So we're going to go from Melbourne. We're going to go over to Bendigo, and then we're going to go back to Kelly Manor. So we're going to hopefully pick up some booze in Melbourne. That's right. We're always after a little bit of booze in Straya. We're going to pick up some booze, and we're going to modify the track ever so slightly so that we can go directly to Bendigo. And we're going to drop off the booze right over in Bendigo before heading back to Kelly Manor and picking up some stuff. Also, this train has now fulfilled its usefulness. Even though there is plenty of grain to be collected, we don't actually require any grain in Bendigo anymore. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to ditch Kelly Manor as a pickup point, and instead we're going to see if we can go down to Norris Fisheries and pick up some fish seafood. Sure, some fish seafood. Right, now you of course will not be able to find a route quite yet, but that's fine. We're working on that. What is the other thing that I need for Bendigo? It's literally wood. Okay, literally wood. Where the heck am I going to find some wood? There must be a wood thingamabobber around here somewhere. There is wood over there. However, that's not been activated quite yet. So how the heck am I going to get wood over to Bendigo? That's the next question. Right. Anyway, that's a question for later. Give me a little connection over here. Yep, literally like that. Let's pay to build that. Perfect. I need to get a couple of sidings because we've now got, you know, some pretty serious hauling capacity. Right. And that goes in there. Excellent. Let's go back into track construction as well, and we'll build one final siding just down near Norris Fisheries. I want to build as long a siding as I possibly can, mostly just to future-proof things. Right. So I need to put in one signal right here, right in there, and one signal right in here. There we go. Excellent. That's looking very, very professional, if indeed I do say so myself. And we're also going to stick in signal there. And a signal there. What do you know? I think that's looking pretty darn good. No suitable freight for this train is available. I beg to differ. There should definitely be suitable freight at Norris Fisheries. No suitable freight for this train available. I mean, you're en route. You're en route. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is nice. So that's good. That's a step in the right direction. That is very, very much exactly what we're after. Right, research. Do we want to get a research point? Increases the number of new applicants, excluding the underworld, by 10%. Or we can get a brand new train. I think we'll take applicants for jobs, to be honest. And we'll also check out the jobs. What do we got? We got an engineer and we got a security guard. Prevents bandit attacks on trains and causes a 5% increase in freight prices. Sure. Let's absolutely do that. Do I want to hire the engineer? Sure, let's hire the engineer. We don't have anyone else. Let's stick... Uh-oh. This is a bad situation. This is very, very bad. All right, we'll deal with this. We'll deal with this right. We'll deal with this right now. Let me see if we can just throw an engineer on here, and also a Bill Brewster. That's right. Throw Bill Brewster on there. Right. What is the issue? What is the issue that we've got? The fact that we've got sidetrack. The fact that we've got 3 trains running on this track is indeed a big old problem. Like, it's just a colossal problem. But never fear, it can be rectified, and it can be rectified with the addition of another siding. So we pay to build that. We stick some signals in here, and bada bim, bada boom, everyone is happy. There we go. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. No, you're turning around. We don't want you to turn around. Don't worry about it. So you want to turn around? You want to turn around and go back to the other, go in the other direction? No, you don't. You don't. You gosh darn train. I'm so irritated. I'm so irritated, and I can't even... I don't think I can even tell you to go to... I don't even think I can tell you to go to the other end of the track. I tell you to go to Melbourne? Will you go to Melbourne? No, you're just gonna continue to go to Bendigo. All right, well, nothing that I can do about that. C'est la vie, as they say. C'est la vie. Right, I think I'm gonna need to throw down an additional supply tower, probably over here somewhere. Yeah, build a supply tower right over there so we can get you refueled. And let's continue with this. Again, you keep on telling me, video game, that there is no suitable freight available for this train at this station. However, I beg to differ. There is in fact fish. Wonderful, lovely fish. Wonderful, lovely fish to be collected. What do we got here? Central shaft reduces the construction cost of tunnels by 8%. I mean, that is pretty useless for us. We already have a 40% increase to the amount of cost to an individual tunnel. All right, let's see exactly what happens here. Yep. Being loaded. Oh, what is that? You're able to load seafood? Oh, it's almost like Potato knew what he was doing. Almost. Very, very close to knowing what he was doing, but not quite. All right, and you know, truth be told, I think we're in a pretty good state, actually. Have we supplied a full load of seafood to both Bendigo, not to Bendigo, to Melbourne and Ballarat? The fact that we've got 0 seafood stored in Ballarat, a bit of a problem. We should definitely have seafood in Melbourne. No, we don't have seafood in Melbourne. I mean, that's a serious irritation, frankly. The Norris Fisheries route should indeed be profitable, but yet it apparently isn't. So, there we go. Yearly report. I mean, the green line is above the red line. So that's good. That's very, very good. We don't have any competitors. Also very, very good, because if we did have some competitors, then that would inevitably cause problems. But that's fine. What do we got over here? Express line is in danger as faster... What? Express line is in danger as faster locomotive is available. Is there? Is there really a faster locomotive available? I guess there is one faster locomotive available. The John Bull. It's faster by 3 miles an hour. I mean... It's faster than 3 miles. Alright, fine. Let's get this train. We'll get this train upgraded to a proper express train. If that's what you're really after. I didn't realize that this frankly counted as an express train, but there we go. Yep, let's get it replaced. Get it replaced with a lovely, wonderful, super fast train. Great. Wonderful. And we can hire some more employees if indeed we want to. 10% passengers are prepared to pay 10% more. Yes, I think we'll do that. Maximum speed is increased. If we want to get you. I mean, I am keen on getting an engineer. Yeah, getting an engineer, getting a stoker, getting a conductor. Uh-oh, conflicts among trained personnel. You should not assign employees who have problems working with each other. Oh no. Oh, this is it's the greatest problem of all time. Right, I'm afraid you're going to be unassigned. I can't afford to have an employee conflict there. We should go back and we should see if we can find... No, you got a problem? All right, well we don't like you then. Get off here. Oh, there's another conflict here. All right, great. That's also not good. Can we hire a brand new person? And now you've got an issue. Okay, so everyone's got an issue with absolutely everyone apparently. Right. Well, we've got a fully loaded train. Thankfully, everyone seems happy with themselves at this moment in time. However, that will no doubt change as we go. Right, how's it going in Bendigo? It's going fine. We're expecting our first load of seafood. We're expecting our first load of beer pretty soon. Yeah. I don't think we can complain too much. So, Melbourne to Ballarat. That's the Melbourne to Ballarat train. Where's the, waiting for Bendigo to Norris Fisheries. Ah, yes. Yeah, so we need to make sure that this is... sorted as well. Give me a signal right here in this direction, please. That would be brilliant. Excellent. And that should allow the movement of this train up to this point right here. And then as soon as you're in the station, that's going to tidy you away just nicely. There we go. And now you're going to take all of the resource down to Melbourne again, which is great. Nice. All right, what can I say? I'm very, very chuffed with this. Can we stick a engineer on here? Right, reduces maintenance. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. A task is about to expire. What do we got? Connect 3 rural businesses. Is that the task that is about to expire by 1834? All right, 3 rural businesses. Do we have another rural business that we can connect? I, truth be told, don't actually know if we can connect another rural business. Seafood is open. Wheat is open. Ah, there is wood. There is wood. There is a cheeky little bit of wood over there. Okay, well we can go and build this because I mean, frankly, we have to. We need to get wood for Bendigo, don't we? You're gosh darn right. Alan Chopping. What a lame name. Also, I should have made you aware that at the moment we're only active in one single territory. We're active in Victoria apparently. However, we can expand to other territories, and we will expand to other territories as we go, which is quite exciting. Right, so a bridge is, in the first instance, expensive, or more expensive than just a regular bit of track. However, it looks like the rest of the country is just about as flat as anything, so therefore, I'm happy with that. Okay. Little bit of elevation coming into Bendigo over here. Tell you what, I don't actually mind entering the station at the other end. I think we're going to roll with that. All right, let's pay $143,000. The task has been completed. Excellent. Do we get any rewards for the task? I don't think that we necessarily do. But that's not a good reason not to do tasks, if you ask me. Right, literally a simple line between Bendigo and Alan Chopping to deliver some wood, because that is apparently required. Literally just that simple. Let's throw down a $32,000 train. We'll get an engineer. Get an engineer right in there. Perfect. Stoker. I mean, sure. Excellent. All right, fantastic. There's been a breakdown over here. I can just about tolerate the occasional breakdown. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. We should probably get some more supply towers, some more water towers, but that's fine. All right, this is an important delivery. It's a very important delivery here. Right, you're the Melbourne to Ballarat route. Where's the Norris Fisheries route? Is it... Where are you going? You're going to Melbourne now? So you've just been to Ballarat. So does Ballarat still have a bunch of seafood in it? See, here's the thing, is that I think I'm underestimating how much seafood is actually eaten at both Ballarat and Melbourne. I mean, if you look at the rate of degradation, right? The rate of degradation is 0.4 units per month. And we're delivering, what, like 8 units per month, I think? 8 units per month. No, in fact, we're not even delivering 8 units per month. We're delivering 8 units every single time a train arrives. But a train probably arrives only like every, what, 3 months or something? So what I'm trying to say, basically, is that by the time the train has gone from the fisheries to Ballarat, then back to the fisheries, then back to Melbourne, then back to the fisheries, we're already out of seafood. So you know what? I think we're going to get another bespoke train to do a route from Norris Fisheries to Ballarat and Norris Fisheries to Melbourne, because I think we just need more. I think we just need more, yeah, I think we just need more fish. Need more fish to be delivered. Yeah, cool. All right. I tell you what, I am very, very happy with the rate of growth that we've got over at Bendigo over here. We should have, here we go, the wheat train arriving. This wheat train is going to supply the breweries, which is wonderful. Kangaroo has the fastest train. You're gosh darn right, Kangaroo does. We do indeed have the fastest train, and it is flippin' fantastic. All right. Ideally, we'd like to load up some beer here, but apparently we cannot load any beer because the beer is all being exported over to Ballarat. Everyone in Ballarat is drinking beer as in comparison to everyone in Bendigo who are desperate for a drink. Yeah, so that's not strictly optimal. That's not strictly optimal. Yeah. You don't love to see it, frankly. You don't love to see it. Is it the end of the world? No. Is it going to delay our establishment of our brand new settlement? Yes. Yes, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. However, I think we just need to try and get some more trains into play. As I've already talked about, the seafood train is pretty necessary really at this point. Yeah, I think let's just see if we can try and get a brand new Norris Fisheries to Ballarat. A nice simple route. Nice simple route shouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll add a brand new locomotive. We'll get the John Hancock. There's no need to make sure that it's done super quickly. There we go. Waiting for track clearance. Yeah, we do have frightfully few signals along this route. And this train, quickly, just whilst I remember, needs to be amended so it just does Norris Fisheries to Melbourne. Yeah, excellent. Alright, well, I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty darn happy with that. Has the track clearance been granted? The track clearance will be granted as soon as the Bendigo to Norris Fisheries line has been dispatched. Excellent, 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 excellent. I'm pretty happy with that. Right. Do I want to conduct a maintenance building? I feel like I feel like I want to conduct a maintenance building in Ballarat. Yeah, it's going to cost me 80 grand, but I think it's going to be totally worth it. Cool. All right, so we've now got a wonderful little maintenance building in Ballarat. Pretty much 40 grand. I don't think I want to spend this, to be honest. The central shaft is an important shaft, but I shan't concern myself with it too much on this occasion. Right, where are our other tasks? Our other tasks are literally just relating to the delivery of resources to Bendigo. Cool. Totally fine. Right, I think we might need to amend our track setup ever so slightly to accommodate more trains. Like, you are waiting for Alan chopping to Bendigo. Ah, I tell you what, that's a slight little oversight. We just whapped down a signal right over there. And that keeps the rest of the track somewhat clean. And in fact, maybe it's worth us getting another little siding up here. There we go. Wonderful. Again, you know, this is, it goes without saying that this entire section will inevitably need to get upgraded. Because it has to get upgraded, right? It has to get upgraded at some point, and it will get upgraded at some point. It's just not something that we can really think about doing at this moment in time. Right, so you should be able to go now. You should be able to move yourself up to the next signal. He says, very hopefully. And it should be the case anyway that you're able to move up there. Again, sometimes it just takes a little while to update. All right, well, we've got the wood. We've got the wood delivered. Wonderful. Completely on their own. Sorry. Right. What's going on here? Breakdown, bad condition. Ah, it's fine. And another breakdown that's also in bad condition. It's not ideal. Not ideal at all, but that's fine. I tell you what I'm thinking of. So we've currently got... Oh, I kind of want you to go... I kind of want to change your route a little bit. This is the Melbourne to Ballarat train, by the way. The Melbourne to Ballarat train. I'm kind of want to say don't pick up beer. Don't pick up beer anymore. Don't pick up beer. You can pick up yeast extract if indeed you want to, but prioritize passengers, prioritize mail. That's fine. So we're only gonna keep it to reasonably simple resources, primarily because I really am in desperate need. Desperate need, I tell you. I need to get some more maintenance facilities. I really do. I should probably construct a maintenance building in more places. Although I'm kind of hopeful that Ballarat is going to be my new sort of central hub, and we're going to use that to keep everything nice and fresh, nice and sweet. Right. The trains do indeed fix themselves after a little period of time, but it's obviously not optimal to have them breaking down every 20 seconds here. Goodness gracious me. Right, you know what? Let's construct a maintenance building at Kelly Manor. Sure, let's do it. I can't have this happening. It's not good. It's not good at all. Right, engineer. Do we need an engineer on this line? I mean, we already have an engineer on the line, so that was already with reduced breakdown chances. Maybe building this shack in this repair shack in Kelly Manor wasn't the greatest of ideas, but that's fine. Locomotive slowed due to missing operating supplies. Oh yeah, we don't have any connection for the good old supply tower. We should probably get a supply tower at some point over here, maybe in this vicinity. This vicinity over here. Yeah, anywhere here would be perfect, to be honest. Yeah, we don't really need to worry about... Yeah, in fact, you're just doing nothing for me at this moment in time. because you are... Yeah, you're tragically not able to do anything. I mean, do we need wood? Do we need wood at our other locations? Hold on, go to 1 times speed a second.
The railroad line will make a difference after
It
all.
will make a difference after all.
It's so much easier to supply the new settlement.
Yeah. Right, so we need to change up this line because there's no need to go to Bendigo anymore. We need to go Allen chopping all the way to Ballarat. Again, it's going to put some more strain on the line, but I think it's totally fine. Slow due to missing operating supplies. Don't worry about it, buddy. You can now get access to the wonderful supply tower that we've just built. Great. But you're going to have to go all the way back in order to get there. Fine, fine, fine. What do we got? Central shaft. We've got the North America 240. Sure, let's get a slightly faster train. I've got loads and loads of points. What is this? Foreign workers. Hiring a large number of foreign railroad workers allows the cost of building tracks to be decreased. Except bridges and tunnels by 5%. I mean, yeah, sure. We're probably not going to be using that a heck of a lot. I'll take locomotive power, I think, instead of track building, given that I don't foresee us building tracks, at least for a little while. I mean, what can I say? We're making money. We're making money. I don't think that there are too many delays. If we have a little zoom out, you can see most of the tracks seem to be utilized not too poorly. We've got 8 beer that is ready for export, so that's pretty darn good. Norris Fisheries to Melbourne. Melbourne to Ballarat. No, I'm looking for the Kelly Manor. I'm looking for the Kelly Manor to Melbourne. Yeah, so this... Yeah, this is the one. So you're currently going to Melbourne, and then you're going to go back to Bendigo, and you're going to go back with all of the juicy resources, all of the juicy beer that I want you to take. That's what I'm after. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we can't really afford to get a double track on this line is becoming a little bit of a problem. I feel like the entire line just needs to, frankly, just be doubled. Yeah. I mean, it's no good. It's no good to have a setup like this. It's very, very, very suboptimal. And it's such a busy bit of track as well. I mean, it is working, though. And I have to be honest, I am actually remarkably happy with how it thus far has been working. If we have a little look at the stats, go into 1 times speed, because things can get rapidly out of control. We'll talk a little bit about these banking activities in the next episode. I mean, we're in a good place. We're in a good place. We're in a very, very good place. Our income has, I mean, look at that. 1836, were we in 1836? Okay, 1836 is past. We're in 1837 now. You know, we made money. We absolutely made money. We absolutely made money. It's only when you factor into account, you know, building costs that we actually lost money. You know, when you look at expenses in comparison to income, we're in a really, really good place. So I'm just hoping that we can continue that sort of trend going forward. But it is somewhat of a problem if we are losing money. We don't want to lose money at all, obviously. Right, so this train should now be fully loaded with logs. Wonderful, that's great. Bendigo needs literally 2 loads of beer. Literally 2 loads of beer, and then we're good in Bendigo. So that's exceptional. Melbourne is getting a extra delivery of grain, which is wonderful. That's great. Fulfillment of demand is sitting at 40-something% for Melbourne. We need meat. We need meat in Melbourne, and we ain't getting meat because we don't have much meat being produced in Ballarat. In fact, we don't have any meat being produced in Ballarat because we simply don't have any cattle. But in order to access the cattle, we need to get Bendigo up and running, and in order to get Bendigo up and running, we need a little bit of alcohol. A little bit of alcohol. What do we got? Yeah, I know. Right, central shaft. I'm not bidding on a central shaft. I just don't think it's that worth it. I don't even think it's that worth it. I can't even remember what it was. What was a central shaft? Reduces construction costs of tunnels by 8%. Yeah, it's absolutely not worth it. Absolutely not worth it at all. What should we get? Should we get the Jervis 420 or the Dunham 420? I'll take the Jervis. Sure. And then, of course, on the only remotely express line, the... What am I looking for? I'm looking for the... Excuse me? I'm looking for the Melbourne to Ballarat route. Where are you? And why can I not go through the trains? Yeah, the Melbourne to Ballarat route. I thought it was this one. Right, let's get this train managed, and instead of the old locomotive, let's get the brand new locomotive. It's going to cost us 10 grand to upgrade, but the train speed is going to increase tremendously. Not like it particularly matters, because train speed is kind of irrelevant when you've got just a singular track with multiple crossing points, but you know, that's fine. That's fine for the most part. Bendigo, look at that. Three beer. Where's the rest of the beer? I thought we loaded up with 8 beer. Has somebody been snaffling alcohol in... Oh, goodness. You hate to see it. That's not good. That's not good at all. I was kind of relying on that load being a full 8 pack. Frankly, it wasn't. And that's disappointing. So who the heck is taking my beer? We got 11 beer ready for export here. I mean, that's great. That's really, really good. Kangaroo at full steam. You're gosh darn right. It's another speed record. We love our speed records. Right, so let's have a little look. Anyone that goes to Melbourne is gonna get frisked when it comes to Norris Fisheries to Melbourne. Yeah, you've just got seafood. You've just got seafood, my dude. I mean, so in Melbourne, don't edit beer. Don't edit beer. Don't transport beer. Just transport other stuff. I mean, just to make absolutely certain that we don't have any people skimming a little bit of foam off the top, if you know what I mean. Because we cannot have that. Melbourne to Ballarat. Yeah, again, you should literally only be mail and passengers, which is exactly what you're carrying. No beer whatsoever. Wonderful. Very, very good indeed. Do we want to get a maintenance facility at Bendigo? I feel like we do. Let's get a maintenance facility at Bendigo just to stay on the safe side. I think we're probably fine just having it at Kelly Manor and Ballarat, but you know what? We'll do this. We'll do this nonetheless. This setup is less than optimal, to be honest. This is a less than optimal setup. Ballarat's quite busy. Ballarat is quite a busy place to be. It's quite a busy place to be. How are we doing in terms of fulfilling demand? We're doing not too badly. We're doing not too badly. We need to get the beer demand fulfilled, obviously, but that's not going to be happening for a little while. This is the train that I'm really interested in, truth be told. Chief Engineer. Office personnel. Yes. What do you do? Carries out research and therefore increases the weekly growth of innovation points by 10%. Congratulations. Welcome to the office. I should have said, by the way, freelancers travel around and I believe occupy cities. Office personnel, I can have four members of staff in my office, and they each improve a whole bunch of features. And the trained personnel are actually, you know, on the front line. On the front line working on trains. That's right. I feel like I need to get like a Ballarat bypass, you know? Oh yeah, you don't have Norris Fisheries to Ballarat. Yeah, you don't actually have the opportunity to fill up at a supply tower, do you? Let's get a supply tower over there. It's not the most optimal setup. We could have worked this out better, where we had one supply tower supplying Ballarat and the Norris Fisheries place, but that's fine. You know, 2 supply towers. The more supply towers, the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, look, I think we're about to... Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I think we are about to dramatically expand the line at Melbourne. Yeah, the reason that I suggest an expansion is because I think we're in desperate need of one. Also, who was it that just stole the beer? Somebody just stole beer. No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Somebody just stole beer. Somebody just stole the beer. We had a whole bunch of beer. All right, apparently it's just being moved by coach to where it needs to go. And I do not control the coaches, which is a great shame. Now, is there any way that I can say in Melbourne, I need literally just this. Gosh darn it. Right, so what do we got? That's five things of beer that are going to be going to Bendigo. All right, fine. Seat upholstery. Great. I'll take that. I guess I'll get the Dunham because we need it to unlock this side of the tech tree. Sure, let's freaking go. All right, so the irritating thing is that Bendigo is going to be treated to another 5 tins of beer. However, it's not going to be enough to make the place grow. It does mean that it takes it down to seven beers that need to be delivered in order to make Bendigo grow. So, what can I say? We're off to a good start. A task is about to expire. What is this? 1840? Oh, we've got a year. We've got a year to do this. I mean, that kind of terrifies me a little bit. Right, you know what? We're going to buy a brand new train. We're going to buy a brand new train. Melbourne to Bendigo. Yep. Save and exit. Add a locomotive. Give me the fastest gosh darn locomotive that we've got. The Jervis. That's what we're all about. Okay. So if you take 7 beers, then that is perfect. Yep, you do indeed have 7 beers. That's great. We're going to get you onto that line right now. Am I a little bit worried that perhaps the capacity of this line right here, the Ballarat to Melbourne line, is being reached? I am in fact worried about that. I am in fact worried about that a great deal. We can modify that. We can modify the capacity slightly. If I was to stick in a signal right behind here, we can sort of divvy up this this siding. However, if I do that, then I think down that path lies madness, frankly. Straight through? No, not straight through, unfortunately. What have we got? We're waiting for the Bendigo to Northern Fisheries, to Norris Fisheries. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so we're definitely gonna... I say we're definitely gonna do it. Are we definitely gonna do it? I don't know. We're in August. We're in August right now. No. I'm fine for innovation points, to be honest. Right. I'm going to throw down an extra signal here, just in case. So hopefully, that means that you are basically going to be able to continue straight through. Because this is very important that we get this set up. I don't know if it's necessarily important that we get it set up within the time frame that the game requires it. However, I'm fine to do it. Right. So let's just get you to chugga out of here. And then let's get this train in as quickly as we possibly can. Bendigo. It's time. It's time. Crikey. Struth. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to flip and do it. We're going to actually achieve our goal in time. Look at that. Bendigo. Gimme the fantastic 7 beers. The final 7 beers that you need in order to grow as a city. In order to transition to become a proper Australian city. There we go. Lovely. Lovely stuff.
But not much exciting stuff happens here anymore. I did warn you.
I did warn you. Fantastic. I cannot believe it. We actually established a town. Tell you what, we could buy an industry if indeed we wanted to. However, we don't need to. Holy cow, that's fantastic. Gain access to the area of Victoria East and connect 8 cities to your rail network. That's by that's by 1841. Victoria East. Is that, let's have a little look. Territory, is this Victoria East? This is indeed Victoria East. Holy cow. Alright, well, we need to pay the required fee in order to do this. I don't think that that's something that we need to do in this episode, however. So for that reason, we're going to wrap this one up. Ladies and gents, this has been Railway Empire. We're going to be continuing with this series for the next wee while. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thanks, as ever, to the fantastic supporters over on patreon.com/potato. Thanks also to Banana Nanana and C Senpai for being the 2 $25+ patrons. Brilliant stuff. Railway Empire Down Under. with a occasionally thrown in dodgy Australian accent. You love to see it. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.